Hi there, this is Danny Flexen and welcome to the latest edition of SecondsOut ReFLEXions. We come out every Monday, 4:30 PM, usually, unless occasionally we're late. And there's a lot, we round up the weekend's action, there's a lot to round up this weekend. First of all, let's start with Deontay Wilder, who produced a stunning first round knockout of Dominic Breazeale that will undoubtedly inspire GIFs and memes worldwide for a long time to come. Actually both started off pretty positively. Breazeale looked quite slow though. Didn't seem to have a great defence early on. But he did manage to rock Wilder. Wilder rocked him first, piled in to potentially finish the job when Breazeale was against the ropes. Breazeale landed a right hand when he was under the cosh, knocked Wilder back, and Wilder seemed to look to hold for a little while there. But then when it came to the crunch, they came together in the centre of the ring, Wilder landed a massive right hand, the sort of right hand that he's famous for and that makes him dangerous, even though he's not the greatest boxer in the world, technically. Landed a crunching right hand to Breazeale's jaw. Breazeale went down as if he'd been shot, which he may as well have been for all the chances he had of meeting the 10 count. Got up just after the count of 10 by the look of it, and it was waved off. I think he said in an interview later on that the referee should have given him a chance, but if you don't make the 10 count, can't really get a chance. And even if he had made the 10 count, he soon swayed back into the ropes after rising as well. So he didn't seem in any fit condition to go on. Didn't give an interview to Jim Gray afterwards for Showtime because Gray had kind of disrespected him when he spoke to Wilder, saying no one really wanted to see Wilder fight the likes of Breazeale. They only really wanted to see him against Fury and Joshua. Kind of sympathised with the point Gray was trying to make. He just didn't communicate it very well or very sensitively, considering Breazeale had just been starched in the first round against someone who he had a real, grudge against, someone who he'd had a bit of a rumble with in a hotel lobby in front of his family previously. Gray could have handled that one a bit better. Great win for Wilder though, nonetheless. Explosive manner of victory, more so than the opposition he beat. Looks like he's going to fight Luis Ortiz in a rematch next. At least we know Ortiz has got the power to really put Wilder in trouble, if nothing else. And after that, they're talking about Adam Kovnetsky, but I would personally like to see him fight Joshua no later than the early part of next year, or Fury. Either one would do. With the heavyweights aligned with different broadcasters, it makes it a lot more difficult, as we all know. So let's wait and see. World Boxing Super Series, 2 semi-finals took place in Glasgow on Saturday night as well. Home nation hero, I should say, because he's from Preston Pans near Edinburgh, not from Glasgow. Josh Taylor advanced to the super lightweight final opposite Regis Prograis. Taylor had some hairy moments, it's fair to say, against Ivan Baranchyk, especially round 5 when Baranchyk really poured it on and did well, and then Taylor came back, I believe it was in round 6, and scored 2 knockdowns. First of which, southpaw, lovely right hand, right hook counter, beautiful shot. I think the last one was more of a barrage top with a left hand over the top. And that really took the play away from Baranchyk, just as he seemed to be working his way into a good position in the fight. He did come back more in the later rounds, the Belarusian, but Taylor was a worthy winner by the end, won a clear decision, took the IBF super lightweight title, his first world title after only, I think it was his 15th fight as a pro, so very impressive there. And now goes on to Prograis in the final. Prograis started off in the betting as the favourite. Maybe people assuming the fight's going to take place in the US. If Taylor gets home advantage again, I think it'd be closer to evens, more of a pick-em fight. But it'll be really interesting. Styles make fights, and I think Baranchyk's style maybe gave Taylor a few difficult moments. Prograis may be a different story, but he certainly looks a talent, so let's wait and see. Other WBSS semi-final on the show was at bantamweight, the winner getting the right to fight veteran Nonito Donaire in the bantamweight final. He was ringside, and he must have been impressed, if not a little intimidated, by Inoue, who came over from Japan, only his second fight outside his home nation, first in the UK, and just destroyed a world champion, established world champion, and fellow unbeaten fighter in Emmanuel Rodriguez of Puerto Rico, the IBF bantamweight champion. Inoue held the WBA regular belt, which some people recognise, some don't, but just came out and destroyed him. It was quite even in the opening 3 minutes, but in the second round, Inoue, it was just destroyed him. Hammered him with a left hook in close as they were coming out of a clinch, and then the second knockdown, a right hand to the pit of the stomach, and the third knockdown, after the second knockdown to the pit of the stomach, Rodriguez looked at his corner and just shook his head. He knew that he was overmatched. And after the third knockdown, it was wisely waved off. There was no way Rodriguez was getting back into the fight, but Inoue has beaten 3 world-class performers in the last 3 fights, all in the space of a few rounds. It's just unbelievable. Everyone says we'll really see if he's a top pound-for-pound operator when he gets taken into the later rounds, dragged into a war, has to overcome adversity. Yeah, that's all well and good, but who's going to take him into those later rounds? Maybe Donaire, crafty, veteran, you know, some of those old tricks, got power himself, especially in the left hook. Maybe he can he's got range as well, he's quite rangy. Maybe he can keep Inoue honest, at least for a few rounds, maybe drag him into deep waters. But honestly, right now, just responding to what happened at the weekend, I don't see it. Maybe as it gets closer, I analyse both fighters, I'll feel differently. But right now, it just seems like another Inoue victory. It's certainly an easier fight to call, perhaps, than the super lightweight final. But we'll wait and see. Other notable happenings I should mention, Billy Joe Saunders in Stevenage at Lamex Stadium became a 2-weight world champion, winning the vacant WBO super middleweight title against Shifa Isufi. Started off really spectacularly, dazzling skills. Faded a bit in the second half, but still more than outclassed his opponent. We hope to see him in a bigger fight next against, you know, a Callum Smith or a Canelo or a Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. Something that, you know, is better than that. If you are catching up on the Stevenage show, it's probably worth watching the Ashley Lane-Brad Foster fight. Foster won it and won Lane's Commonwealth title to go along with his own British title at super bantamweight. But just a really exciting fight all the way through. Got a final round stoppage in that one. So definitely tune in, watch that, catch up on it. Great weekend of action, lots to talk about. Let me know in the comments below, what was your standout performance of the weekend? Will it be Wilder? Will it be Inoue? I guess they're the 2 leading contenders, although, you know, Taylor did very well in front of home support as well. Let us know who you think was the standout performer and who your tips are for the World Boxing Super Series, Super Lightweight and Bantamweight finals. Who's going to win and how? Let us know below. We'll respond to some of the better comments and I'll see you next week, Monday, 4:30 PM for the next Reflections. Thank you.